As people across Los Angeles continue to clean up and monitor environmental hazards following January's devastating and deadly wildfires, there's growing concern about the nearby marine ecosystems. The ash and runoff from the fires settled over the Pacific Ocean for up to 100 miles. CBS News environmental correspondent David Schechter recently spent time with scientists who are monitoring the water and fish off the coast of Los Angeles. He joins us now. David, what did scientists find when they collected ocean samples during the time of the fires?
Hi, Lindsay. So the scientists from the Scripps Institution and NOAA and the state of California, they go out on these cruises 4 times a year. They go up and down the entire coast of California, collecting samples of a lot of things. But one of them is plankton, which is like the organisms that a lot of things in the ocean eat. It's a critical food source. They just happened to be right there on January 9th in front of Santa Monica, basically, as Los Angeles was burning. And they're collecting these samples. So the samples usually come up and it just looks like, a very light colored pink, sort of. That's what it looks like when they collect it. What they scooped up was just covered, the plankton were swimming in ash. And they're very concerned that ash is toxic ash, because what was burning in town was car batteries and all kinds of toxic things in people's homes, building materials, plastics. And so what was in that cloud of ash is now in the ocean, and they were at the right place at the right time to collect that so that they can now continue to study it.
And you also spoke to a seafood chef who has big concerns about what happened and the impacts. Let's listen to some of that.
The damage that these fires has caused is like woven so deeply into the fabric of our food systems that it's something that, it should be just an absolute red flag for anyone involved, And
red flag for what?
Red flag for change. Like what can be done to ensure that these kinds of fires don't happen again?
What other concerns did you hear from people in the fishing industry, from chefs like Michael?
Yeah, really, it's about the food chain. The concern is that lead or cadmium or really bad things that had floated out into the ocean, they quickly settle down to the bottom, and that these bottom-feeding fish will start to eat on it. There's like a big rockfish population there, and that's a big fishery in California. That's what we saw them making at that restaurant. And so that it's the system where the small fish eat it and the bigger fish eat it, and then all of a sudden, could it be in the larger fish that humans consume? And that's what he's talking about, being woven into the food web. So once you've put this amount of toxic material into the ocean, the concern is that eventually it makes its way into the larger fish that people eat.
What are scientists doing to try and understand exactly what is in the water, what's on the ground?
So this cruise that we talked about, they collected up something like 600 samples. We're going to be checking to see what's in those samples, and then they'll continue to go back and monitor those locations. But also there's groups called like Heal the Bay, Santa Monica Bay. They have put together their own operation to test water near shore. The concern is that rain falls on these burned out areas, and then those toxic materials make their way down to the ocean. Their early collection efforts are finding that is indeed the case, that they're finding some of these elevated heavy metals in the water. So this is the monitoring will go on for a long time, but it will now sort of be probably pretty persistent along shore. And those people, those scientists that were on the boat, that were out in the water, they're also interested now in checking the water right off the shore as well. So I think you're looking at a long time study and pretty deep concerns from people like chefs in Rusty.
David Schechter, thank you.